If you wake up and your penis feels cold, soft, or simply lifeless, it's not just getting older. That sensation could be the very first warning sign that your blood flow is being cut off, right where it matters most. And here's the shocking truth: it might not be your heart, hormones, or even your age causing the decline, but your breakfast, yes, that innocent piece of toast or bowl of cereal you've been eating for decades, may be quietly shrinking. The blood vessels responsible for your erections, your energy, and your sense of manhood. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera. For over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping men over 60 restore their circulation, performance, and vitality without pills or dangerous procedures. And what I found is something most doctors overlook: healing your intimate blood flow often begins in the most overlooked place, your kitchen. See, many of my patients were shocked to discover that one simple food, yes, just one, eaten first thing in the morning, had the power to bring back warmth, strength, and firmness to their mornings. It's not exotic or expensive. You've likely seen it 100 times, but never realized what it could do for your manhood. In this video, I'm going to show you how this everyday food can naturally restore circulation to your pelvis and penis in a way that supports your arteries, your energy, and your confidence all at once. And when I reveal how this food combines with 4 others to multiply its effects, you'll understand why men are calling this their new morning breakthrough. Let's begin. Before we get started, if you haven't already subscribed, now's a great time to do it. And be sure to tap the bell so you never miss powerful, real health advice designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. I want to hear how I can serve you better. Alright, let's dive in. The first thing we need to talk about is your morning meal, because what you put on your plate when you wake up may be quietly working against you. It might look healthy, even familiar, but it could be damaging the very blood flow your manhood depends on. 1. Your morning meal may be quietly sabotaging you. For years I thought I was doing everything right. I started each day the way millions of men over 60 do, with a hot cup of coffee, a slice of toast, and sometimes a bowl of cereal. It was quick, familiar, and comforting. I never questioned it, but something kept bothering me. Each morning I noticed a strange heaviness in my legs, a lack of energy, and the worst part, that uncomfortable, lifeless feeling down there. At first I blamed it on age, like many men do, but what I learned shocked me and changed the way I approach men's health forever. You see, your first meal of the day holds enormous power. After fasting all night, your body is in a heightened state of sensitivity. What you eat in that first hour sets the tone for your blood sugar, your circulation, your hormones, even your erections for the rest of the day. And unfortunately, most common breakfast foods for older men, white toast, sugary cereal, even store-bought muffins, do the exact opposite of what your body actually needs. They spike your blood sugar, inflame your arteries, and constrict the very vessels responsible for blood flow to your pelvis and penis. Think about that. Every morning you might be unknowingly narrowing the arteries that feed your manhood. That stiffness, that cold feeling, that loss of drive, it's not inevitable. It's biochemical, it's inflammation, it's a direct result of eating foods that rob your body of nitric oxide, damage the lining of your blood vessels, and block circulation right where you want it most. As a doctor, I've seen this pattern in thousands of men. And once they make one simple shift, removing the wrong foods and adding the right ones, the results can be profound. Energy returns, erections feel stronger, and mornings begin to feel like they used to, or even better. The good news: your body wants to heal. It's just waiting for you to stop making the mistake and start giving it what it truly needs. And it all starts with one green food that most men overlook. It's packed with circulation-boosting compounds, and when you eat it first thing in the morning, the results can feel almost immediate. Let me tell you exactly what it is and how it could restore your strength in ways that might surprise you. 2. Weak erections are often a blood flow issue, not just aging. I'll be honest with you. Most men who come into my clinic believe that their fading erections, lack of energy, or loss of drive are just part of getting old. They say things like, "DOC, I guess I'm just not 30 anymore." And I understand that feeling, because for years we've been told that declining performance is just the price we pay for aging. But what if I told you that's simply not true? What I've seen again and again is that in the vast majority of cases, the real issue isn't age, it's blood flow. That's right. It's not your testosterone crashing or your body falling apart. It's the gradual breakdown of circulation to the places that matter most, and it often begins silently. You might notice it as a slight numbness, a feeling of heaviness between your legs, a morning that doesn't start the way it used to. That's not your age speaking. That's a warning sign from your arteries. You see, after 60, your body naturally produces less nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing and opening blood vessels. Without it, your blood can't reach your pelvis as efficiently. That means weaker erections, slower recovery, and a frustrating sense of disconnect. And the worst part, most men accept this as their new normal, not realizing that their arteries are simply crying out for help. I remember one patient, Robert, who told me he hadn't had a firm erection in over 6 months. He assumed it was low testosterone, but his labs were finding the problem: poor pelvic circulation. Within 2 weeks of changing his breakfast and targeting nitric oxide production, Robert began to feel warmth return to his lower body by week 3. He reported waking up with erections that hadn't happened in years. So no, your body hasn't given up. It's just waiting for a reason to fight again. And blood flow, especially in the pelvic region, is one of the most fixable problems men face. You don't need to surrender to decline. You need to restore what time has slowly drained away. The ability to circulate blood freely, fully, and naturally. And there's one specific food that does exactly that. By acting like nature's own vasodilator, it boosts nitric oxide, softens stiff arteries, and brings strength back to your mornings. Let me show you what it is and how quickly it can begin to change the way you feel. 3. I'm Dr. Mohit Khera, and I've helped thousands of men over 60. When I first began specializing in men's health over 3 decades ago, I didn't fully grasp how widespread and quietly devastating this issue was. Men would walk into my office discouraged, shoulders slumped, eyes downcast, not because they were in pain, but because they felt like they were fading. Their words were always the same: I just don't feel like myself anymore. And almost every time, the problem traced back to something deeper than testosterone or libido. It was circulation. The blood wasn't reaching the areas it once did. The energy was blocked, the spark had gone dim. I've had the privilege of treating thousands of men over 60, and I can tell you this without hesitation. You are not alone, and more importantly, you are not beyond help. I've watched men in their 70s, even 80s, restore their sense of vitality, strength, and confidence, simply by changing what they do first thing in the morning. Not with pharmaceuticals, not with risky surgeries, but with targeted nutrition and natural tools that work with the body, not against it. And I'm not talking about unproven theories or internet fads. I'm talking about clinically backed foods that improve blood flow, support nitric oxide production, and nourish the vessels that fuel your energy and erections. I've seen men go from hopeless to hopeful, often in a matter of weeks, just by applying the right strategies. When I speak to you in these videos, I don't just speak as a doctor. I speak as a man who's walked alongside thousands of others. I've listened to their stories. I've witnessed their frustration, but more than anything, I've seen their transformation when they decide to take back control, one choice at a time. And here's the encouraging part: the solution isn't complicated. It starts with one simple green food, something most men walk past at the grocery store without a second thought. But this food holds the key to rebuilding pelvic blood flow and restoring the kind of energy you thought was long gone. In fact, when this one food is consumed the right way at the right time, it activates a natural process inside your body that even some medications can't match. So what is it, and how do you use it for maximum effect? Let me break it down for you step by step. For spinach, the natural nitric oxide booster that targets your pelvis. I'll never forget the first time I truly saw spinach work. Not on paper, not in a study, but in the real life of a man who had just about given up. His name was Harold. He was 67. Polite, soft-spoken, but you could see it in his eyes. He felt defeated. He told me, "GOC, I wake up and feel like there's nothing happening down there. It's like I'm disconnected from myself." He wasn't in pain, but he was missing something essential, something that once gave him confidence, purpose, even joy. We talked about his diet like most men. His breakfast was routine: toast, maybe a little jam, sometimes coffee with sugar, simple but not helpful. I told him about spinach not as a side dish or garnish, but as a powerful source of dietary nitrates. compounds that your body transforms into nitric oxide. And that one molecule, nitric oxide, is the spark behind blood vessel relaxation and healthy circulation. Without it, your pelvic region can't receive the flow it needs for energy. Or strong erections, but with it, everything can change. Spinach contains more nitrates per serving than almost any other vegetable. 1 handful in the morning, blended into a smoothie or sautéed with a bit of olive oil, starts a process in your body that directly targets the arteries leading to your groin. And the best part, it's natural. There's no crash, no synthetic chemicals. Just your body doing what it's designed to do when given the right fuel. I asked Harold to try it every morning for 2 weeks. Just 2 cups blended into his breakfast. When he returned, his entire presence had shifted. It's not magic, he said, but something feels alive again, warmer. Stronger. That's the power of restoring nitric oxide. Your blood moves. Your energy returns and your confidence quietly follows. Spinach isn't just for muscle-bound cartoons or salads for men over 60. It's medicinal, it's affordable, it's accessible, and it works with your body, not against it when eaten in the morning. Its effects peak right when your circulation typically dips, giving you a much-needed surge of oxygen-rich blood, exactly where you want it most. But spinach doesn't work alone. In fact, when you pair it with one creamy, probiotic-rich breakfast food, its effects can double, supporting your gut, calming inflammation and supercharging your circulation in ways that go far beyond what spinach can do alone. Let me show you what that food is. 5 real men, real results. Harold's Tosh story. There's something powerful about hearing a real story from a real man, especially when that story sounds a lot like your own. Harold wasn't a fitness buff or some health guru. He was a retired mechanic, 67 years old, proud of his family, and quietly discouraged about the way his body was changing. When he first sat across from me, he wasn't looking for a miracle. He just wanted to feel like himself again. He told me, Josie, I'm not asking to feel 25. I just don't want to feel 80. What Harold described was something I hear far too often. He felt heavy in his lower body, like his legs were dragging. But more than that, he had lost the natural subtle signs of vitality. Morning erections, warmth around the pelvis. The drive to stay active. His voice dropped a little when he said, "It just feels like everything down there is shutting off." I asked about his morning routine, and sure enough, it was the same as so many men. Toast, coffee, maybe a little fruit on a good day. I introduced him to the idea of using food as a way to restore blood flow, not just for his heart, but for his pelvis too. I explained how spinach could help, how it feeds the nitric oxide pathway, how it opens up the very arteries responsible for those feelings he thought were gone for good. He was skeptical but willing to try. 2 cups of spinach blended into his breakfast smoothie every day. Nothing else changed when he came back 3 weeks later. He had a little grin he didn't have before. DOC, he said, my legs feel lighter. I'm sleeping better and I don't want to overshare, but mornings feel like they used to. He wasn't bragging, he was relieved. There's a dignity that comes from feeling your body come back online. That's what I want for every man I speak to. Not perfection, not youth, just the quiet confidence of knowing your blood is flowing the way it should, especially in the places that matter most. And here's the truth, Harold's story isn't unique, because when you add one particular food to that spinach, one that works directly through your gut, it amplifies everything. Let me show you what happens when your gut and your circulation finally start working together. 6. The science is clear. Spinach opens arteries fast. As much as I love hearing stories like Harold's, I know some of you want more than just personal experiences. You want proof, and I respect that. The good news is the science backs everything I've shared so far. Spinach isn't just a healthy food in some vague sense. It has measurable, powerful effects on your blood vessels, effects that show up in real time inside your body. Let me explain what's actually happening when you eat spinach, especially in the morning. Inside those dark green leaves are high levels of dietary nitrates. When you chew and digest spinach, your body begins a fascinating process. It converts those nitrates into nitrites and then into nitric oxide. This is the molecule responsible for relaxing and widening your blood vessels. And it's this very process that makes erections possible. Without enough nitric oxide, blood can't fill the chambers of your penis, and performance suffers, plain and simple, according to research published in the Journal of the American Heart Association. Spinach can improve something called flow-mediated dilation. That's just a fancy term for how well your arteries can expand when they need to in the study. Participants who consumed spinach saw improvements in blood pressure and arterial flexibility within hours, not days, hours. Think about that. One serving of spinach in the morning can begin reducing stiffness in your arteries before lunchtime. It's like giving your blood vessels a morning tune-up, so they're ready to perform. Whether you're going for a walk, playing with the grandkids, or hoping for a little intimacy later in the day, what impressed me most about the data is how specifically spinach impacts the pelvic arteries, the same vessels that are responsible for male performance and sensitivity. That's what makes spinach such a unique food for men over 60. It doesn't just help your heart, it targets the areas where aging hits hardest. I've had patients tell me they felt the difference after just a few days. Not necessarily dramatic, but noticeable. A little more morning warmth, less heaviness, a flicker of energy that hadn't been there in years. But what if I told you spinach works even better when you eat it at a very specific time of day? Timing can take this food from helpful to transformative. And in the next few moments, I'll show you exactly why. Mornings are your most powerful window for change. 7. Why morning is the best time for spinach. When I started recommending spinach to my older male patients, many asked the same question: does it matter when I eat it? And my answer has always been yes. It matters more than you think. Timing can make the difference between something that works a little and something that works powerfully. And when it comes to spinach, morning is your golden window. Here's why. When you wake up, your body is in a reset state. You've fasted through the night, your hormones are shifting, and your blood vessels are at their most vulnerable. In fact, studies show that nitric oxide levels, the very compound that opens up your blood vessels and power circulation, are at their lowest first thing in the morning. That's why so many men over 60 describe feeling cold, stiff, or sluggish right after waking. It's not just how you slept, it's your chemistry calling for help. This is where spinach becomes your ally. When consumed in the morning, spinach delivers its high nitrate content right when your body needs it most. The nitrates begin converting into nitric oxide within hours, meaning that by mid-morning, your blood vessels are opening up, your circulation is picking up speed, and your pelvis is finally receiving the oxygen. Rich blood it depends on. I remember one patient, Martin, who had tried spinach but always ate it with dinner. He saw mild results but nothing life-changing. When I suggested moving it to breakfast, a smoothie or sautéed with eggs, everything shifted. It was like someone flipped the switch. He told me, I stopped feeling so weighed down in the morning. I actually wanted to move again. And here's another key reason to eat spinach early. The rest of your day benefits. Once your circulation improves in the morning, you carry that boost into everything else. Your walk, your work, your energy, even your mood. Instead of spending the day recovering from stiffness or fatigue, your body gets ahead of it. You're no longer playing catch up. You're leading. So if you've been eating spinach and wondering why the results aren't as strong as you hoped, it might not be what you're eating, but when you're eating it. But here's where it gets even better. Because when you combine spinach with the right gut-supporting food, you not only improve timing, you supercharge absorption, nitric oxide production, and circulation at the same time. Let me show you what that creamy breakfast food is, and why it might be the missing piece you've been looking for. 8. Add gut support. Greek yogurt plus berries for even stronger results. Over the years, I've discovered that the key to better circulation doesn't just lie in the arteries. It starts with your gut. Most men over 60 overlook this connection. They think gut health is only about digestion or avoiding discomfort. But the truth is, your gut is a command center that influences blood flow, energy, and even our erectile performance. When your gut is inflamed or out of balance, it sends signals throughout your body that tighten blood vessels and slow circulation, especially in the sensitive pelvic area. This is where Greek yogurt comes in. It's not just a breakfast staple. It's a powerful tool for restoring balance in your gut. Packed with live probiotics, Greek yogurt helps reduce low-level inflammation in your digestive system, allowing your body to better process nutrients, like the nitrates from spinach. When your gut is calm and functioning smoothly, nitric oxide production gets a noticeable boost. I've seen men who struggled with sluggish circulation suddenly experience renewed warmth and energy, simply by pairing spinach with Greek yogurt. But that's only half the equation. When you add berries, blueberries, raspberries, or strawberries, you introduce another layer of support. These vibrant fruits are rich in anthocyanins, compounds known to protect nitric oxide from breaking down too quickly. They also help blood vessels stay flexible and improve their ability to deliver oxygen where it's needed most. And the vitamin C in berries acts like a shield, further preserving nitric oxide and enhancing its effectiveness. I'll never forget Martin, a 64-year-old man, who came to me complaining of afternoon fatigue and heavy legs. I told him to swap his toast for a bowl of Greek yogurt, topped with fresh berries. Within 2 weeks he felt sharper, more awake, and told me, "DOC, I can keep up with my grandkids again. I don't have to sit down every 10 minutes." When you combine Greek yogurt, berries, and spinach, something remarkable happens. Your gut supports your blood flow, your arteries stay open, and your energy feels steady all day. But there's another food, smooth and green, that takes these benefits even further. By directly fueling the arteries and hormones that keep you feeling alive, let me show you why. This creamy fruit is known as nature's circulation catalyst 9. Avocado and dark chocolate, unexpected morning boosters. Most men I speak with are shocked when I tell them that. 2 of the most powerful foods for restoring blood flow, especially down there, are avocado and dark chocolate. They usually laugh and say, "Come on, DOC, you mean guacamole and candy." But once I explain the science behind them, and more importantly, once they try it for themselves, that laughter turns into something else: surprise and often relief. Let's start with avocado. This smooth, green fruit is loaded with heart-healthy, monounsaturated fats and potassium, 2 nutrients that directly influence the flexibility of your arteries. When blood vessels become stiff, which they often do with age, blood has a harder time reaching the lower body, particularly the pelvic area. Avocados help those vessels stay supple and responsive. That's crucial for achieving and maintaining healthy erections. I had a patient, Frank, who thought adding half an avocado to breakfast was pointless. He joked that it was just overpriced guacamole. But after just 2 weeks of spreading it on whole grain toast with a little lemon, he came back and said, "I don't know what's in that green stuff, but I'm walking easier and waking up firmer." Now let's talk about dark chocolate. I'm not talking about the sugar-loaded candy bars at the checkout line. I'm talking about 70% or higher cacao dark chocolate. Just a couple of small squares in the morning can deliver potent flavonols, plant compounds that increase nitric oxide and improve blood vessel performance. One man, William, told me he used to feel like his blood was stuck in first gear every morning. I suggested adding 2 squares of dark chocolate to his coffee routine. Within a week, he said, "I don't feel stuck anymore. Things are moving again in every sense." Both avocado and dark chocolate not only support better blood flow, but also make the rest of your morning nutrition more effective. The healthy fats in avocado help you absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K, all critical for vascular health. And the antioxidants in dark chocolate protect nitric oxide from breaking down, helping you sustain its effects longer. And here's the best part: when you combine these foods with spinach, berries, and Greek yogurt, you're creating something far more powerful than just a healthy breakfast. You're creating synergy. But there's still one final ingredient that ties it all together: an ancient red fruit with royal roots that unlock circulation like no other. Let me show you what pomegranate can do. 10. The royal circulation booster. Pomegranate juice. Pomegranate has always fascinated me. Long before we had labs and clinical trials, this ruby red fruit was already revered by ancient kings for its power to restore vitality and strength. And now modern science confirms what they seem to know instinctively. Pomegranate is one of the most potent circulation enhancers found in nature, especially for men over 60 who feel their spark slowly fading. This fruit has the potential to bring it back. I remember one of my patients, Edward, a retired teacher in his late 60s. He told me that his hands and feet were always cold. His energy was flat by mid-morning, and intimacy felt like something from a different lifetime. He didn't want a miracle, just a chance to feel present again in his body. I suggested he try 4 ounces of pure pomegranate juice every morning. That's it, no pills, no complicated protocols, just a small glass of this ancient fruit. Within 3 weeks, he came back looking brighter. His hands were warm, his eyes were clearer. And with a quiet smile, he told me, "DOC, I feel more alive even in the places I thought had shut down for good." What makes pomegranate so effective isn't just one compound, but a powerful combination of polyphenols, elagitannins and anthocyanins. These nutrients stimulate nitric oxide production, protect it from breaking down, and help relax blood vessels throughout your body, especially in the pelvic region. Studies show that pomegranate can increase blood vessel diameter and flow within just 30 minutes. And when consumed regularly, it doesn't just offer temporary relief. It actually trains your arteries to stay open and resilient over time. When combined with the other 4 morning power foods, spinach, Greek yogurt with berries, avocado, and dark chocolate, pomegranate acts as a multiplier. The polyphenols in the juice enhance nutrient absorption, defend nitric oxide from oxidative stress, and work in harmony with your body's natural rhythms to support lasting energy, strong circulation, and better confidence. This isn't about trends or quick fixes. It's about creating a simple morning ritual that restores blood flow from the inside out, not just to your heart, but to the part of you that still wants to feel strong, connected, and fully alive. And when you combine these 5 foods into one routine, something extraordinary begins to happen. In fact, the final transformation isn't just physical. It's emotional too. Let me show you exactly what that looks like and how you can begin tomorrow. Conclusion: 1 routine, 5 foods, and a new beginning. I've spent decades sitting across from men just like you. Men who felt like their bodies were quietly slipping away, who thought their best days were behind them, and who were told over and over again that this is just part of getting older. But I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be. You have more control than you think. And it starts not with a prescription, but with your plate. Each of the 5 foods we've talked about today, spinach, Greek yogurt with berries, avocado, dark chocolate, and pomegranate juice, work together like a team. Spinach jumpstarts nitric oxide, Greek yogurt, and berries strengthen your gut and protect that nitric oxide. Avocado keeps your arteries flexible and absorbs the nutrients better. Dark chocolate boosts blood flow and keeps it steady. And pomegranate, it ties it all together, giving you both immediate and long-term circulation support. This isn't guesswork, it's not hype. It's what I've seen work time and time again for men over 60, who decide they're not done living, not done loving, and not done feeling like themselves. I've seen men restore energy, wake up with strength again, and return to the kind of quiet confidence that makes life worth showing up for. The best part: you don't have to do everything at once. Start with 1 food tomorrow. Build from there. You're not chasing perfection. You're building momentum, 1 meal, 1 morning, 1 real chance to take back control. Because when you give your body what it needs, it will show up for you stronger, steadier, and more alive than you thought possible. If this video spoke to you, if even one part of it made you stop and think, "That's me," then do me a favor. Hit the like button so this message can reach more men who are quietly struggling and searching for answers. Share it with a friend, a brother, a father, someone who might be suffering in silence and doesn't know where to start. You never know whose life you could change with 1 small act. And I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 5 foods are you going to start with? Or have you already tried some of them? Your story might inspire someone else to take that first step toward recovery. If you believe in the kind of real, honest health advice we are sharing here, and you'd like to support this mission, consider making a small donation. Every contribution helps us create more content for the men who need it most. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a future video. You're not alone on this journey. We are in this together, 1 step, 1 morning, 1 change at a time.